recording this interview, okay? All right. All right, so I will start off by getting your full name, please.
My name is Gurule.
Chris, what is your date of birth? And a good phone number for you, please.
505-868-9077.
Okay. And what is your call sign?
I am RE7.
Okay. Chris, I just want to get some information from you. I understand that you were one of the first on scene. So if you could just start off by telling me, what information you got and what you observed when you arrived.
So I was coming north in the area, and I heard over the radio that RA1 was unresponsive, and I said, "Well, what the heck?" So I asked on the radio, "Run unresponsive as in just like still breathing?" And that's when they said unresponsive and not breathing. And I was like I just went into shock, and I of course turned on my emergencies and was coming up here as fast as I could. I arrived, and there was a male that they call Bear, a bald-headed man. It seemed like he was doing CPR on him, and he kept saying, "He's dead, he's dead." And I was like, so right away I looked down and I saw he was like it reminded me of a stroke or a heart attack, because he was purple in his neck, chest area, and his ears were already blue. And I remember putting my hands in his neck, trying to feel for a pulse, and I couldn't. But he was still warm, so I was confused. I was but then again, he told me he was sitting in his unit, driver's side, and he pulled him out to perform CPR. So then I grabbed his arm to feel a pulse there, and I saw that his arms were stiff, but they were still warm. So I was like, how can you be stiff if you're still warm? I, of course, I think I called somebody. It was somebody in the department or dispatch, and it may have been my lieutenant, because he told me to update him prior to me arriving. Told him he's no longer breathing or responsive, and I got into a shock. Guys started telling that guy to step back, and it popped into my head, set up a perimeter. And my guys were kind of arguing with the guy, because they told him to get off, and he was like, "He's my best friend," or something. And I was like, "You guys set up a perimeter." I had to break their argument, because they're arguing over dumb things, and now was not the time to, the guy was trying to save his life. It seemed or he was the first one here. So, of course, our perimeter started getting set up, and we were that man was just saying so many things, and he's dead. He kept saying he's dead, and I was just like, I understand that. And he started saying a lot of things at one time, and I kind of went into a shock, because that was me, and we were one of the first Arriba sheriff, deputies, since over 10 years for sure. So that was my older brother, and I kind of took it hard. So I got all kind of shocked, dazed-ish, and then I just was what do I do, bro? Oh my god, what do you do as your main sheriff is gone, your commander? How do you do? How do you focus? How do you do what's gonna happen? And I just started thinking. My mind went on a weird little situation, and I try to hold my emotions in. It was hard, but so many things I could just. It was I was in a daze, but I could hear talking, and I was just what's the next step? What's going on? And then my other two guys had they were there too, and I think Green, Officer Green showed up, and I think then Sergeant Trujillo showed up, and I asked him if you guys would investigate it because it was our department, and that's when we stepped back, left our units there, shut them off, and a perimeter, wider perimeter was set up, and then I think your lieutenant with investigation showed up and was just asking us questions of how we got there, what kind of similar-ish, and what state do we find him, and I explained that he was armed, but like stiff already, like one arm, I remember seeing one arm like this, and like one arm like that. And like I say, I was kind of in a pretty bad shock, but I really didn't see other than like he was purple, like anything that could have been. To me, it felt like if he had like a heart attack or a stroke. I mean, I'm not a professional in any way, but like he was a very healthy man. Like, you know, yeah, we did have sleep apnea because we were always talking. We were just talking about he had just turned 50 and about his tip-top shape, and you know, just so that's why I was surprised, very surprised. I did hear that man say that that he was with some girl, and then I remember them focusing on trying to find out where that girl was, because I guess that man ran. I think it was Randy or something, the bear or whatever they call him. He had dropped her off somewhere in Espanola, and they were trying to find a address to go find her or how to collect her up or get a hold of her. And like I say, I was a little dazed because like he was, like I say, he was like a brother, and that's why I was just like, I had to just like try to focus on what the hell was going on instead of emotion. So it was kind of rough, but I do remember certain things like there was some girl, a Mexican girl is what they said, or back, you go to the top road, she's in the back, she's in a red truck or something, and so I was just trying to figure it out, and then they were just mentioning that I heard him say something that she didn't want to come back over here and that she was leaving to Mexico the next day or something, and I was just like, wait, what the hell? I didn't understand because I knew that, you know, like he had a relationship with somebody, so I don't know if they were mingling or what, but it just like shocked me.
Had you ever heard anything about this Mexican girl prior to today?
Never. Like, that's why I was like, all I ever heard was you know, his long-term girlfriend, Tova is her name, I think.
Tova?
Yeah. And that's why I was like, and then of course my lieutenant came in, the undersheriff, and in fact she had called, well, they were there, and she handed me the phone, and she was yelling, and well, she was like, Chris, is it true? I'm in Texas trying to get a flight back. And I was like, well, I didn't know she was there. I was like, where are you? And she was like, I'm trying to get a flight back. And I was like, yes, it's true. And she just got loud, and I got like weird, so I hung up because I didn't want to hear her like freak out, cry on my ear. So I just stayed in the in this area, the outer perimeter, and just hung out. That was pretty much. But I had never heard of that girl. I still don't even know anything about her other than that man mentioning that they had taken her home.
Okay.
Somewhere down there.
Does Tova live here as well?
Yes. As far as I know, Tova lives here. That's why it was different, because she was actually in Texas. So I was like, well, what the hell? Maybe job related, I don't even know. Oh, someone said her son was getting, like, he had finished his terms with the Navy. So it was like kind of a, I don't even know what they call it when the military says you've done your time served, or so they're gonna bring him back from the Navy.
Do you by chance happen to know how long she'd been gone?
I didn't even know she was gone until all this came to play.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did Billy by chance mention to you like any plans that he may have had for this weekend?
None at all. I had spoke to him yesterday because there was a car show going on, and he said make sure you guys show presence at the car show because I don't want nothing to happen in our county. Yes, it's in the Pueblo, and I was like, of course I'll get that done. And I even texted him late when my assignment was done. I was just like, hey, everything went smooth, everything. I didn't hear back from him. One of my guys called in this morning, and I told him, hey, so and so called in sick. And normally he responds text like, what do you mean he called in sick, or what's wrong with him and stuff like that, and he didn't. So I was just like, oh wow, he must be family time or something. I knew his mom lived in a collated, so I was like, maybe he's still there out of service. And I still didn't hear back from him. And then when I heard this come out on the radio, it just, I was like, wow, that's weird. Because like I say, he worked out every day. He was real he was on point for being, I think, 50 years old, as he told me. And
Anything else?
no, I mean, like I say, to the most, that's shocking, surprising, and still unbelievable. I just don't get where this came from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's wild.
Well, I'm gonna give you my card. If there's anything else that you could think of, if later on you think of something that you missed, please feel free to give me a call or even just shoot me a text. If there's anything that you guys need, I know this is a very difficult time for you guys. Please feel free to reach out, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
All right. Do you want me to call Lopez?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sure.